Do you ever feel like no matter how much you work, your business growth still feels unpredictable? Like all your effort should be compounding by now, but it just isn't? Well, after working with countless 6, 7 and 8 figure business owners at selfmastery.co, there's one system that almost all of them neglect, and it's the exact reason their growth feels unpredictable. But once I've helped them build it, they've been able to double their monthly income, drop the cost per lead, and secure $1 million deals. So in this video, I'm going to show you what that system is and how to build it so that you can 10x your business. I'm Harkness. I run selfmastery.co, where we help 6, 7 and 8 figure business owners redesign their business to run without them. To start, think of your business like a pipe with a couple of different stages. Water enters the pipe as a lead, it goes through to the next stage, turning into a customer, then comes out the end of the pipe as profit. If you want to grow, you want more profit, which means you need more water coming into the pipe, right? Well, at the start of the pipe, there's a tap which you can turn up to pour more water in, or turn down to let less water in, or you can keep the tap steady where it's at. That tap is the secret to you growing your business, and it's a system most business owners completely ignore, because when most entrepreneurs want to grow, they go straight to fixing sales or squeezing more revenue from the same customers through retention hacks, ascensions, referral systems, or repeat purchases. But these are all limited by your business, because not every business can ascend or get a repeat purchase. It really depends on what you're selling. And yes, 100%, obviously you want to maximize the LTV, lifetime value of every customer through certain strategies. But the only universal way to grow is to get more customers. And that starts with getting more leads, because, you need leads to sell to, quite simply. And how do you get leads? Well, to get leads, you need marketing. I've worked with countless 6, 7 and 8 figure business owners, links in the description, by the way, got them to map out their business system so they can see their entire business at a glance. And once they see their business all mapped out, they can literally see the bottleneck and they realize, oh crap, no wonder I'm not growing. I don't even have a marketing system. Because think about it, right? The purpose of marketing is to get leads. So if you don't have a system for marketing, you don't have a system for getting leads. So how on earth can you even expect to grow? I've seen literally so many entrepreneurs say, oh, I have a sales problem. And so I ask them, do you struggle to get leads to buy, or do you struggle to get leads? I would say about 90% of the time they say, oh, I struggle to get leads, which is not a sales issue. It's a marketing issue. So how can you build a marketing system that will grow your business 10 times faster? Well, let me show you. Your marketing system is like a chain with 5 links. If even one of them is broken or missing, then the entire system falls apart, and most businesses are missing all 5. Let's break down the first link, as this is how you make sure your marketing actually gets you the customers that you want to work with. Because when you think about marketing, all you're really doing is you're putting out a message which says, I help X person solve Y problem, or I help X person achieve Y goal. That's all you're really doing. And so every single word and step of your marketing needs to be focused on that person and that problem that you solve. Because if you sell, say fitness coaching, and you're talking about how to edit the video, the people who are going to buy your fitness coaching do not give a crap about video editing, so they'll not consume your marketing. And instead you'll get people interested in video editing, and they won't buy your service because they don't want fitness coaching. That's a nightmare. That's not what you want. So the first link in your marketing system is your input. It is your target avatar and messaging. And it's the input of the system, because every single aspect of your marketing system needs to be something your avatar cares about. And if they don't care about it, don't talk about it. That brings us to the second link, because the goal of marketing, remember, is to create a lead. Once you have a lead, they move into the sales system and are sold to. But to get a lead, you first need a person who you can help, and more importantly, you need to get their attention. Now, how you get their attention really depends on the avatar, which is one reason why it's so important to know your avatar, because you can use content, you can use ads, or you can do outreach. But if your target avatar is, say, never on Google looking for your services, there's no point using Google ads to get their attention. Obviously, there's nuance to that, because every method of getting attention works, otherwise it wouldn't exist. It's more so just that some methods will work better for your business than others, depending on your target avatar. So this is link 2, attracting attention, and it is the first process in your system, which can be done through the likes of content, ads, or outreach, where the whole goal is to speak to the problems and goals that you help your avatar with to get their attention. But that is still not enough, because making them aware you exist is one thing. Getting them to trust you enough to want to work with you, well, that's where link 3 comes in, because someone won't just find you and buy from you straight away just because you caught their attention. That'd be amazing if that happened, but no. they have to know, like, and trust you. Or in other words, you have to warm them up. Obviously, how much they have to know, like, and trust you to buy from you depends on your market and the problem you're solving. But you essentially want to build trust by showing them, hey, I know what I'm talking about through content, emails, social proof, testimonials, and reviews. And that is link free, your second process, nurture, where the sole goal is to show your target avatar that you can help them. Obviously, though, trust is not cash in the bank. So if you want them to become a lead, you need to give them a helping hand by using link 4. Because look, people might seek out themselves how to work with you, but there's no guarantee they will. And if you don't make it clear or obvious, they'll just go to somebody else who does. So we want to make working with you easy and clear by using calls to actions in your content, your ads, your emails, or on your website, where you essentially say, click here to work with me. And look, you'll hear me say this in my content all the time. If you want to work with me to redesign your business to run itself, click the first link in the description below. That is a call to action. It's a nudge in the direction of becoming a lead that if I didn't do, yes, look, people would still turn into a lead for me because I have links in the description which they can find themselves, and that makes it pretty easy. But the call to action in the video is a super powerful, but also it's a non-invasive nudge. But imagine I didn't say that in my video, right? I didn't say, click the link in the description below to work with me. And I didn't have any links in my description at all. You could watch this entire video. You could want to work with me and have no idea how to do it. So you just don't, because it's like, well, how do you work with me? You have no idea. So with the fourth link, your third process is action, where you have to invite the person to take the next step to become a lead and make it easy and clear for them what they have to do, because any sign of friction where they have to really think will potentially turn them off. And then finally, you have the fifth link. This is your output of your marketing system, because the person has found you because of your attention process. They trust you because of your nurture process. And thanks to your action process, they're now a lead. They've moved into your sales system to see if you can help them and so that they can buy from you. Now, how you class a lead really depends on your sales system, but it could be an application, a call booked, an email subscriber, a text. What a lead is for you doesn't really matter as long as you're clear on what it is for you and what you do with the lead next. But I would say to only class a lead as someone who has shown high intention of working with you. Like, people can join your email list with zero intention of working with you. So classing them as a lead is a bit pointless. So to recap, your marketing system has 5 links. It has your input, your avatar and message, process 1, which is attention, process 2, which is nurture, process 3, which is action, and the output, which is the lead. But for this system to work for you, there's one thing you need to understand, otherwise it will fail. And that's that not every person will go through the links or the processes at the same pace. For some people, it could take 2 years for them to trust you enough and for their problem to be painful enough for them to want to pay you to solve it. For some people, it could take 2 minutes. Like, this really largely depends on your market and what you're selling. For example, if someone is looking for a plumber, they'll act fast within a few minutes, because you only, like, when you think about it, you only look for a plumber when you have a big problem right now that needs fixed to buy a plumber. But if you're, say, a fitness coach or have an info business, it could take 1 to 2 years for someone to work with you because the problem you're solving isn't the most urgent or painful problem in the world. And because of that, some people will never work with you. Some people will take time to want to work with you, and some people will find you and want to work with you ASAP. It really depends, okay? But that is also the beauty of marketing, because if you know your target avatar thoroughly, their problems, goals, pain points and all, then you can make the problem really painful and urgent in your marketing and get them through the system, the links, the processes faster. But what exactly should your marketing system look like for the best results? Well, let me show you, okay? Because to do this, you have to understand that marketing is sort of like fishing. Like, imagine trying to catch a 700-pound tuna with worm as your bait in a pond in your backyard. You're doing the right thing, you're fishing, but you're in the wrong place. Tuna will not be in your backyard pond with the wrong bait because they won't eat a worm, and so you don't catch any tuna, and so you convince yourself fishing does not work, when really you just didn't understand the fish you were trying to catch. And so what I'm trying to say here is that how each of these links, your input, processes and output, look depend entirely on the fish you're trying to catch, your avatar, which is why it is the input. Because look, here's something about business that you might not have realized, but everything works, okay? Ads work, content works, outreach works, emails work, referrals work. If a way of getting customers did not work, it would not exist. Simple. But depending on your avatar and what you sell, different ways of marketing may work better than others. For example, if you're a home services business, Google Ads likely works better than Facebook ads, as when someone has a problem, they will likely just Google electrician in their local area. So having Google Ads as a marketing strategy there could be a great idea. If you're a B2B service or SaaS, maybe LinkedIn outreach or email makes sense because your clients or potential clients aren't scrolling TikTok, they're checking their inbox. Or let's say you have an info business or some sort of coaching service, content makes the most sense because when people want information on solving a problem, they look up content on it. So how you market and where you market is entirely dependent on your business and your target avatar. The main thing is that you speak to your avatar's problems and pain points in your marketing, that you have a way of getting their attention, a way of nurturing them to trust you, and then a way of nudging them to take action to work with you. But with that, there is one process I would recommend for every single business in this day and age of the internet. If you really want your marketing to work like it's on steroids, and that's content, because content is like hitting 10 birds with one stone. Not only does it attract people's attention, but it also nurtures them and warms them up because they're spending time with you where you're sharing valuable information around their pain points and problems and how to solve them. So they know, like, and trust you by the end of each piece of content a bit more than before they consumed it. Like if you think about this video got your attention. So you clicked it and you watched it. I share valuable information, which shows that I know what I'm talking about. And I showed you client results at the start of the video. So I warmed you up and nurtured you. So you know, like, and trust me more now than you did before watching the video. And I've had call to actions to work with me throughout the video. So content is amazing for marketing because it can be used for all aspects of the system. It also works incredibly well as the nurture process if you're using ads or outreach as your attention process, because if someone sees your ad or cold email, they'll likely Google you. And if they can see that you have a ton of valuable content, they will consume it, they'll trust you and be more likely to work with you than if you did not have that content. So content is a gold mine for marketing. And so unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you that this is the one way you have to market and that's it, because that's a pile of shit. You have to be really careful with people who tell you that one way is the only way, because it never is. And since I don't know your target avatar, I can't tell you how to market or what channel to use to market to them best. If you do want my help though, you can click the link in the description below to work with me. I'll be more than able to help you then once I actually know your avatar and your business. See, that was a call to action. See how this works, right? But with marketing, the main thing is that you figure out what your avatar wants, how they're most likely to find you, what their problem is that you solve, and you then have a single way to attract them, then a single way to nurture them, then a way to entice them into action to work with you. And I say a single way, mainly because marketing is a skill. If you're trying to get good at ads and outreach and all these different things, you're going to be spread too thin to get good at any of them, and so you'll be crap at all of them and get no leads. The exceptions here are if you have a team or agency who can handle a process like ads for you whilst you do outreach, for example, or if you're doing ads for your attraction process of content as your nurture process, because obviously content will technically still get you attention, even if you're primarily doing it for nurturing purposes. But when you have your marketing system built, growth is no longer a guessing game. You turn the tap up, you do more marketing, leads flow in, you turn it down so that you do less marketing so that leads slow down and operations can sort of upgrade in the operational systems to handle the new volume of clients as you grow. And if something in your marketing is not working, you look at your marketing data, you look at the pipe, see where the leak is, you find the bottleneck, you fix it, you grow. But of course, you need to understand how to tie all of this into the rest of your business systems. So click this video on screen now and I'll show you how.